Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Old Guy Farm's single player challenge. Thanks for coming back. This is episode or edition number 21, and this is sort of a little bit of a catastrophe that we've had the last couple of game days because of all the snow. And as we begin this game day, there's more snow in the forecast from what I can remember from last night, or maybe it was rain or sleet or something like that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get right into the action here, and we will get started. And we don't need to change any mods, so we will just continue. Hello, Country Girl 45. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. We don't need no stinking Java. Hope everyone had a wonderful, what is today? Thursday. Hope you all had a wonderful Thursday. I suppose any day during the work week that is not a Monday is certainly better than the day before it. So let's see. All right, steering wheel's good. So let's go ahead and get started here by collecting our eggs. We always do this first thing, and if we get up to that part of town up there where we can sell some eggs, we will certainly do that. It's kind of hard to see the eggs that are down below the snow. What is that? Don't know what that's supposed to be. It's covered up in snow. We've got obviously we've got several layers of snow that we're having to deal with. And the interesting thing is I kind of got caught up. Well, not really caught up because Farmer Klein is still way ahead of me, anyways, and so is Old Guy Farmer. But I did manage to catch a couple of Farmer Klein's videos. That he did. Well, actually, I guess they were episodes 23 and 24, I believe, is what I watched today. So basically, his last two game days of winter was what I caught. And he doesn't have the traction issues at all. Even once he got snow on the ground, his traction problems essentially went away. Or didn't exist altogether. So ours obviously still exists. I'm supposing that they won't go away until some of this snow melts. And again, sort of based on that weather forecast up there, if you look up in the upper, right-hand corner of the screen, you will see that we've got rain or something forecast for today. We have sunshine tomorrow, so maybe, just maybe with that 36-degree temperature, we will be able to melt some of this snow, or at least a layer of this snow, so it won't be so slick. Oh my gosh, we have got so let's see, DC, welcome DC to the stream, and my gosh, a stranger for sure is graced us with his presence, Mr. Doughboy 2913. Welcome to the stream, sir. And also Eustace Farmer is also in the house. Welcome, Mr. Eustace Farmer. I so appreciate you taking time to join us here. We're sort of on early. We were on early last night simply because we wanted to watch the U.S. and Jamaica soccer, the Gold Cup soccer match, I think was what it was called. And so we did that. And so we basically streamed early so that we could essentially do that. And then we are on early tonight, again, not really because we're going to watch anything on TV or anything like that, but simply because we've got some thunderstorms that are forecast later this evening. And if that does occur, then if the thunderstorms do come in as they might do, then I may need to shut things down. I'm a little leery on running some of my electronics and stuff like that with thunderstorms. We're going to drive up here and check out the greenhouses here. I can't remember if we filled these up last night or if we did that the night before. I need to maybe keep a little bit better Can we not see it with the Mac? I was kind of hoping that we might be able to see it would come up there on glance. Oh, there we go. So 75 and 62. So we are okay on our greenhouses. We've got 4 greenhouses, and because basically Doughboy, this is the first time Doughboy has been on our stream that I can recall, unless he sort of was lurking, and also Eustace Farmer. Again, welcome to both of you. Let me just kind of check here and see how our animals are doing. Hay and grass, that's fine. We'll probably throw another bale of hay down before the end of the evening. So for the sake of, as we slip and slide here, for the sake of Eustace Farmer and Doughboy, and then maybe anyone else that might be in the stream who has not caught a stream before, this is a single player challenge that Old Guy Farmer created. This is his edit of Goldcrest Valley. He's changed a few things up. Doughboy, you might see that a few things look a little bit different than they normally do here on Goldcrest Valley. And I do need to do one thing. We got to slow these trains down because otherwise they will likely cause us some problems. And so anyway, it's a single player challenge. We are playing 6 game days per season. We are playing with the seasons mod, and we are playing at speed 15x, which, man, I tell you what, it took me some time to get used to that. Probably about as much time as it's probably going to take me to get used to driving in these slippery, slick conditions. And again, I was catching up with Farmer Klein. Farmer Klein had 1 day of snow in his winter period, and he didn't have the traction issues and everything because I guess he just got 1 layer of snow on the ground. But we have all sorts of traction issues as we slip and slide, and it has slowed us down considerable. I mean, we were able to pretty much cut and sell about $100,000 worth of wood each and every game day, and we have just not been able to do that with this winter weather. So we're gonna maybe take advantage of the upcoming daylight that we should have here pretty soon, and maybe pick up some wood and get this hauled down to the sawmill, the timber mill, and then most likely we will be cutting more wood. That is, if we can maintain traction and everything. So let's kind of see, let me take a glance over in the chat and see who else is kind of here. Kyle Myers, welcome to the chat. DC, I've already welcomed you, but welcome again. CWC Gaming, what's up? Welcome to the chat. And I think that might be pretty much everyone, but I am just tickled pink to have both Eustace Farmer and Doughboy in the house tonight. Thank you guys for coming out. And this challenge, if you've caught, and I will hope, or I will request and maybe ask that you guys check out some of the other participants that are participating in this challenge, guys like Farmer Klein and even Old Guy Farmer himself. All the links are down below underneath the video of the other participants that are, having fun and spending. Oops! Stop loading. We've got enough wood here, I think, maybe too much. They're all Rubber Burner Gaming is another friend of mine that is playing this challenge. Let's see. Doughboy says, watch replay, should be sleeping. I load pigs in 3 hours. I broke my last toothpick last night and I only have 2 monsters left. Okay, I don't know what that means, Doughboy, but I will trust that you've got everything under control, buddy. So let's haul this load in. If we stack our trailer as nice and neat as possible, it will net us about anywhere from $25,000 to maybe $29,000 per load. And as I said before, when we didn't have the snow on the ground, we were able to haul 4, maybe 5 loads within 3 hours or so on the game clock up there. As you kind of notice, if you keep an eye on the upper right hand corner up there, you will sort of notice that time does fly by really fast. I think we probably started up around 6 a.m. and we've only been streaming for 10 minutes and it's already almost 10 minutes after 8. And no, you can't chain up, unfortunately, and And I think the couple of comments last night and last night's stream was more directed towards the fact that I should know how to drive in this, since I have lived in Colorado for almost 19 years. And I suppose that is true, but obviously game physics and all that kind of stuff aren't the same as real life, and so therefore things don't always play as realistic as we would want them to. So our sawmill is right over here. If you guys have played Goldcrest Valley, pretty much the industry and stuff like that, the sawmill, the BGA, which we don't use in the challenge, pretty much all of that stuff is in the same place that is located in the regular map. The difference with the map itself is obviously the main farm area is slightly different. The sheep are also at the main farmyard. So we've got a few logs that are just kind of barely hanging in there. And again, for folks that normally don't watch my stream very often, you guys know that I don't do a lot of automatic logging or loading and stuff on camera. I usually either try to manually load stuff, or I will do that kind of stuff off camera. Obviously, the nature of the challenge and the fact that, well, myself, I am pretty terrible at loading logs, and I can do bells okay if I really concentrate, but obviously the nature of the challenge, and of course the goal of the challenge, and I'll just go ahead and spell that out for you all, is obviously those of us that are participating, the ultimate goal of the challenge is to finish out the 3 years of gameplay, basically sell everything. We'll have sold any items that we've harvested, sell our livestock, and even sell our fields. We will all load the Bank of Hagenstadt on the very last day and sell our land, our fields, I should say, sell our equipment and everything. And whoever has the most amount of money at the end of it all will basically win. And there is another friend of mine. Wow, I mean, I have just hit the jackpot. I put the quarter in the slot and pulled the lever, and there's Duck Zorley. Welcome, Duck Zorley. Thanks for stopping by. Gizmo UK. Hello, Gizmo UK. Thanks for stopping by as well. Folks, if I will apologize in advance, because with the slick conditions that we have, and I'm really surprised that I'm able to drive as fast as I am right now. Maybe this frozen ground, we didn't have frozen ground yesterday. Maybe the frozen ground is actually helping provide a little bit more traction for us. I don't know, but anyway, with the slip sliding around and everything that we were doing last night in episode number 20, I can only kind of keep about a half of an eyeball on my chat window, and I've got to keep the other eyeball and a half on the gameplay. Otherwise, I will be in the ditch, and it's just kind of it's a hysterical comedy of errors kind of thing here. So we're gonna turn around and load up more of this wood here if we don't hit our Ponzi here, and jump out of the cab here and load up some of these logs here. So anyway, I hope everyone had a wonderful Thursday. I certainly did, and got a lot accomplished today. Got a chance to talk to my friend Eustace Farmer. That's always an enjoyment. And got some other things accomplished at work as well, which should make tomorrow a little bit easier for me. That's always good. But yeah, we're going to try to do a back-to-back. We're going to, or doubleheader, or however you want to kind of refer to that. Maybe 2 episodes, if I feel like it, and if basically the weather, the real world weather, the weather that's outside my windows, as long as that kind of continues to hold out. If the thunderstorms come in, then we may only do one episode. But it's just much slower. I mean, I'm not a professional at forestry at all, although I will tell you that I've cut down over 500 trees on this map, and if you factor in the 300 some odd trees that I cut down in Mountain Valley Farm, then you might think that I was a logging professional, but I'm really not. I really am not very good at it, but obviously some of the tools, here comes more snow, like we need more snow here on our map. So let's turn that off and we'll jump out and we'll go down and get our Ponzi and get it going again. Let's see. Duck Zorley says, hello EP. Look, Jerry drives and stays on the road. I try. I tell you what, Duck, if you were to watch last night's episode, you would certainly not say that about me, because I was just all over the place, literally. I was from one side of the road to the other, and it was crazy. I'm going to take down this tree over here by the railroad track because it's a nice tall one. And so again, kind of the nature of the challenge itself is to try to make money the best way we can, even if we end up crashing our tree. And we're keeping the county employed as well. That's one thing that I promised the county, was I would make sure that I knocked down plenty of signs to essentially make sure that they stayed employed, because we like to make sure that we keep people in jobs here, around here. So that's why I keep knocking down those signs. But yeah, last night's episode was a bit comedy-esque, because again, I was just sort of all over the place. So my condolences, Jerry. Who punished you with talking to EP? Oh, that's the highlight of my, well, it's been a little bit, I've been just crazy busy with work and with other things that have kind of been going on, and I haven't had a chance to talk and catch up. And so it was really an enjoyment, I must say, to be able to do that, and it kind of helped the day. For those of you that have just joined, that haven't been following my challenge here, I will just kind of recap you on my money situation and kind of what's been going on with that. Everything is bought and paid for, thanks to Mr. Mark DuPont, who sort of encouraged me, I would say, to essentially lease my combine. So we are doing traditional farming in addition to forestry. So he did convince me to sell my combine that we had on this map, and so we did rent a combine when we needed it, and basically that's saving us some of those daily maintenance costs and stuff like that. And so, but all the money up there is pretty much, everything is bought and paid for. We don't have a loan. We do have 100 sheep, and we have just been making money kind of hands over fist at forestry. Because that's really all that we can do in the wintertime. We can't do any harvesting at all because the ground is frozen, and also the ground is covered in layers of snow, which again, kind of back to the other participants of this challenge, if you go out and check their videos, you'll notice that, like Farmer Klein, for example, if you watch his 23rd and 24th video, which basically would be the sort of the fifth game day of winter, and his 6th game day of winter, he just had 1 day of snow, and so much easier for him, but little challenging for us. So I'm kind of hoping that the seasons gods or whatever will give us a break come year 2 and maybe even year 3 on our weather. We also had a wet fall as well, which was also something that we needed to sort of take into consideration in our play as we sort of run over some logs there. And of course, using a chainsaw and manual loading and all that kind of stuff, we just can't do it. It's not, it's not a requirement. I think that maybe Old Guy Farmer might regret by not putting those stipulations into the challenge. Thankfully he didn't, because obviously that would seriously slow all of us down. I mean, especially even like Farmer Klein as an example, who we don't have any pigs, so there's no pigs to get harmed in that experiment there. But even Farmer Klein, even his strategy, which is basically hay bales, silage bales, his would be also hampered tremendously if he had to pick those bales up manually. So as Eustace Farmer and Duck Zorley kind of go at each other there in the chat, I will just remind everyone that I am giving away 3 copies of the upcoming Giants Farm Sim 17 expansion, Platinum Expansion DLC pack. These will be Steam versions for those of you that are interested. And everyone can enter as well. You can enter 1 time per episode, so you could enter 72 times if you watch all of my episodes, and I hope you do, because, well, I like to think that at least for the most part, while I'm slipping and sliding around, it's pretty good entertainment for you. And all you need to do is listen to my episodes and get the code word of the day. Each episode has a different code word. And of course, I'm not going to make it easy for you, and I'm not going to tell you what the code word is within the first 5 minutes of the video. I do make you wait a little bit of time, and it's in different places in each video. And of course, it's verbal, so you do have to watch and listen. It's not going to pop up on your screen or anything like that. Again, I'm not going to make it too terribly easy for you. But basically, I'll give out the code word of the day here later in the episode. But with that code word, you follow the instructions underneath the video, and that will register you for the drawing. And the way that the drawing is going to work is, obviously the DLC comes out in mid-November, around the 14th of November, I believe. And we've got to be done with this challenge by November 1st. And so my plan is on Sunday, November the 6th, I will do the drawing for those who have participated and award you. So you will know well in advance, before the actual DLC actually releases from Giants, you will know whether you are a winner or not. So just something for you to think about. And of course, I appreciate you guys watching and hanging out in the chat and stuff like that, because that definitely helps. That passes the time tremendously. I mean, not only is time just keep on ticking there on the clock. There we go. I mean, 22 minutes into the stream and it's almost noon. So about 6 game hours have surpassed thereabouts. And so it has been somewhat of a unique experience for me, running over logs, obviously. But it's sort of been almost a fish out of water experience, at least for the first few episodes, getting used to playing at 15x speed and sort of, you know, I'm kind of a cautious, careful kind of guy, and I like to think about things. I like to maybe weigh my options. I like to look at maybe like various horsepower of tractors, compare things. But you just can't do that. You basically need to kind of know what you're going to do, what your plan of attack is going to be. And I posted a kind of a comment or a forum message over on the Three Dudes Gaming Network forum this morning, talking about the fact that, you know, if even if you don't participate in this challenge, and I believe that the challenge has been locked down because it's basically too late for any new folks to get started with the challenge. But I would encourage you to definitely try out maybe this type of farming. Find a map, maybe even this map, and try it at 15x speed with seasons set to 6 game days per episode, and just sort of try your hand at it and see how it works out for you. I think that you'll learn a lot. I think you'll learn a lot about yourself. I think you'll learn a lot about your own way of farming, and it's not anything that you've got to, you know, permanently make the change to do. You can always go back to whatever method and whatever style of farming that you enjoy. But definitely, it just, I think, is a cool experience, and it's been something that I'm very appreciative to Farmer Klein for exposing me to this. I was coming back from vacation and just kind of catching up on a few videos. I watched some Eustace Farmer videos, and I watched a Farmer Klein video, and he was doing this challenge, and I thought to myself, that's pretty interesting. And well, it sort of bit me, and I thought, well, I'm going to try this out and see if I can see how well I can do. And of course, one of the requirements is obviously that we stream the videos or the episodes. So anyway, for those of you that maybe are new to the channel, I would appreciate it if you would hit the like button and also consider hitting the subscribe button. I really do appreciate that. And while I'm talking about various things that you can do, especially if you are new to my channel, if you are not already a member of the Three Dudes Gaming Network, go over there and check out that forum site, and also check out PCSG. Both of those are fine communities, forums, whatever you want to call it, with wonderful people that primarily do this to help others. That's what we like about being online and streaming and stuff like that. So Alex, I don't know what you're saying there. If that's something that you need me to read, if you could translate it, because I certainly don't have time to translate that, or if someone else happens to speak Spanish. I think that's Spanish anyways. If it's not, my bad. I don't really have time to, like I said, I've got like one eye on the, about a half an eyeball on the chat, and the other eyes on the map, doing the work that I need to do. Skylar, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. We are just doing more logging. It's kind of what we do, especially in this time of year where there's nothing else to do. Spamming something about Minecraft. Okay, well, we'll see how that goes. Let's see, I'm going to do one thing here. All right. I just added Duck Zorley and Eustace Farmer as moderators, so if you guys, if you see anything that's kind of going on that doesn't fit my normal routine of G-rated, feel free to give the folks a boot. The more I stream, sort of the more we've been, it's not been too bad, but we have had a few folks that have kind of been disruptive that's come in, so we don't tolerate that. Anywho, let's see. More logs, more trees. The taller the trees, the better. But the problem is a lot of the really tall trees are kind of up in the hills. And we kind of, because of the snow, because of the ice, because of all those kind of things, it's a little harder to get up there to get those trees. Duck Zorley, please don't boot Eustace Farmer. And of course, I know you're joking. At least I hope you're joking. I know you're joking. So one thing that we did learn, obviously, because of the slippage, the slip and sliding and everything that the snow produces, is we're going to have to kind of shift our strategy just a little bit when it comes to forestry in the spring, summer, and fall as time permits. Is we're probably going to go up into the higher country in the spring, summer, and fall and log up there, because essentially the traction, stuff like that, won't be a problem. Whereas down here in the flatter areas, we need to kind of maybe save these for the winter time, where we can better work our equipment. Killing trees, that's right, Mark. You've you know, it's all your fault, sir. I found you. Eustace Farmer introduced me to Mark DuPont, and I saw his map on Mountain Valley Farm, and where he was doing all this wonderful logging and everything. And then I started started that map, and I cut down 300 trees, and as we checked last night, we were at over 500 on this map. And we're taking out just about anything that we can find in these game days where we have to kind of stick to the flatter areas, so even these shorter trees won't bring a lot of money, but it's still wood, and it's still gonna add pennies to the total. And we're having fun, if you can believe it or not. I've been cutting wood for, I don't know, like 6 or 7 game days pretty much straight, and still having fun. That's what this is all about. Yeah, you did break me. But you've also taught me a lot as well. Look at all these layers of snow. I mean, Farmer Klein gets one little layer of snow, and we've got multiple layers of snow. I don't know. I don't recall being asked to draw straws, but I'm guessing that we certainly drew a short one. The only animal type that we're raising on our map is sheep, because, well, sheep are a little more profitable than anything else because of their wool, and they're also easier to maintain because they basically just need hay. So we're actually not even bothering mowing or tethering and raking. We're actually buying our hay bales. We figure that that's going to be all right to do that and still come out okay with the wool being what that is. And let's see, Mark DuPont says, I decided to do some logging on my series after all, but low tech. Yeah, you like that low tech stuff. I don't think I have the patience for it. Certainly not doing 300 or 500 or I don't know how many trees we're going to end up cutting before the 3rd year is over with. My guess is going to be in the probably in the thousands. But Eustace Farmer, laugh out loud. I think Jerry has a Farmer Klein dartboard. The snow is a sore spot. Yeah, but it's, it's just the luck of the draw. It's nothing that I have done differently or that he has done differently, or as far as that goes, anyone else. As a matter of fact, Mark DuPont and I were comparing notes just the other day, a couple of nights ago, that Mark and I, for our maps, our series, we have very similar weather symptoms, I suppose you could say. Both Farmer Klein and Jerry Ott, Old Guy Farmer, they have very similar. So Mark and I are both hoping that the next year, and maybe even the 2nd year, are going to be a little bit easier on us with regards to weather stuff. That's what we're hoping for anyways. Oh, that's nice. He put some storage up here. I didn't realize that there was storage up here. Oops, there's our trailer. I figured I would park it in the way. Go after a couple of more of these tall ones back here. Our traction is a little bit better. I don't know if that the frozen ground, because we didn't have the frozen ground icon last night, and I'm thinking that maybe that extra layer of snow has kind of helped with things, because again, last night was just crazy. It was crazy. All right, so we're about 35 minutes into this stream, And I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know what the word of the day is. And of course, I would appreciate it if you don't all just, clear the room at one time after you hear the word of the day, because don't forget, I am going to try to do a double header tonight and do 2 episodes tonight. But the code word of the day for today is the word slick. S-L-I-C-K. For those of you that are old enough, if you remember Grace Slick, I think she was in a James Bond movie. That is the code word of the day because, well, it has been slick, although it's not been as slick as it was in yesterday's episode, but still. That is the code word. So you just basically follow the instructions down below the video, which will take you to my Discord channel, where you will get additional instructions, including my email address, where you can email me the code word of the day, and then I will register you for the drawing. And that's really how it works. It's pretty much as simple can be. Jerry, where's the donuts? What donuts? I see powdered sugar on Mark's beard, though. Yeah, well, don't know. You guys, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but no donuts. I don't provide my viewers donuts. I don't have the budget for that. And we talked to these people that live here in this house, and they told us as long as we don't break any windows, we can have the trees. Grace Slick was a scary woman. She might still be. I don't know if, I think she's still alive, isn't she? But yeah, she was a tough woman. And I can't remember which. I think she was in a Bond with Sir Roger Moore. I think is the at least that's what I'm thinking, anyways. But I can't remember which one it was. There's some donuts. Mark's got some donuts. Yeah, no refreshments. Sorry, folks. It's really just a lot of rinse and repeat. That's kind of the name of the game. There's not really anything else that we can do besides tend to our animals, which we've already done, tend to our greenhouses, which we don't necessarily need to do this game day. We can get by with doing those every other game day. Let's see, what else? Do maintenance on our vehicles if they need it. But I don't think anything that we currently have needs maintenance. And cut trees. Make money. Try to beat Farmer Klein. Try to beat Old Guy Farmer. Try to beat Mark DuPont. Try not to roll our Ponzi. Wow, we recovered that nicely. And also a view to a kill. Thank you, Mark. Now back to some of the other challengers. There's really no, other than we can't use the BGA, so we can't sell like bulk silage. If we, Farmer Klein is obviously selling silage, but he's selling it wrapped in bales. And so obviously it takes, with the Seasons mod, it's like 2 game days or something for the grass to turn into silage. But there's really no, we can do traditional farming if we want to. We can do forestry. We can do animals. We can do, silage. We can do a little bit of everything, should we want to. And also, this map does have gold nuggets. I have found the first 10. So sometime between, well, obviously not now because the snow's on the ground. but sometime over the next 2 game years, I will find all the gold nuggets, and of course that will be a nice $1 million. Is that a gold nugget? No, it's a stump. Hello, Robert. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. We are just doing a little bit more logging, and I think we're going to just kind of continue down this path as far as logging goes until it gets maybe a bit dark, and then we will maybe try to take another load of timber to the sawmill. And we just basically can't work at the same pace that we have been doing in the late fall. We got done with our, we basically harvested the fields that we had. We had basically four fields that we harvested, and we got those done pretty quick, and have basically been spending time logging and trying to fatten our bank account up a little bit more that way. So where's everybody from? General area. You don't have to give specifics as far as city, street, zip code, social security number, or anything like that, but just general area where you're from, maybe state or close proximity city or whatever. I'll go first. I am in Denver, Colorado, but you guys probably already know that since you are all followers. Most of you guys are followers. I recognize many of the names in the stream. Followers, friends. And Doug Zorley says Oz, of course. All right, so I think we're gonna shift gears just a little bit here, and we're gonna get in our truck and haul some of this wood down, since it appears that we've got a little bit better driving conditions for some reason or another. Could have sure used them last night. I'm Mark DuPont, Toronto, Canada. We'll haul this load and come back and get another one. Should be using the road train. Well, I will tell you, Doug Zorley, I thought about it, and actually Old Guy Farmer and actually Farmer Klein were both several episodes ahead of me before I even got started with the challenge. And I think it was actually, no, it wasn't Farmer Klein. It was Rubber Burner Gaming. Basically started off with the road train, but it was so finicky trying to get all the trailers loaded that basically in the amount of time that he spent messing about trying to get 3 of the trailers loaded, he could have actually made at least 2 trips. And so it's just not, I think he sort of gave up on that concept, and when I got started with it, I just went with the 1 trailer, and this is basically Stevie's modded log trailer, and it works really, really well. Gizmo, good night. Happy farming. Well, thanks, Gizmo. Thanks for stopping in and saying hello to us and spending a bit of time with us. I appreciate that. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night and a very wonderful Friday. Another thing is you have to be very careful when you make these turns. I have dumped 2 trailers to date. They will flip over. Obviously, you need to give lessons then. Yeah, why don't you record a tutorial, but make sure that it's nice and slick and everything, and you've got several layers of snow in the ground, because obviously that's going to kind of play into the whole thing. But yeah, why don't you do that? It really was not my intention to do a whole lot of forestry. I had planned to do forestry because I wanted to clear the trees around the main farm area and basically try to expand the 3 fields that we started with, try to expand those just a little bit so that I can get a little bit higher yield off those fields. And so, but then basically I started realizing how much money we could actually make in forestry. And again, sort of my competitive nature, wanting to try to at the very least keep up with Farmer Klein, if not maybe even be able to give him a run for his money and maybe even beat him. I knew that we were going to have to do some forestry and fill this time, because again, I say, what would we do on this game day if it weren't for forestry? There's really nothing to do other than run off the side of the road. Yeah, he might be. I don't know. He, I saw how much he was able to sell his silage bales for in the first season that he made, the first summer, and I think he's kind of realized that his grass is not going to be mature enough to cut as early as he had hoped to be able to cut, and it's just like pickup sticks, kinda. Let's restack this a little bit. That is true. Eustace Farmer brings up a good point, and I've already bought and paid for it more than once. So obviously that is a very valid point. All the equipment, as far as that goes, we will be selling. We'll basically sell everything lock, stock, and barrel, fields and everything, and so that'll obviously be some money that we'll have. And of course the gold nuggets that we have not yet found. I will be honest that I sort of, both Farmer Klein and some of the others took time in the first year to find the gold nuggets. I sort of made the decision that I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be sort of enticed with having a whole lot of... What is going on? I think I might have had a log that was a bit sideways, or more, a couple of them that were a bit sideways. Hang on, let's fix this. go get that guy on the way back. Anyway, I didn't want to have the that $1 million hanging out there where I might actually spend it on something that I didn't necessarily need. And so I sort of disciplined myself and said, we're not going to find the gold in the first year. We're going to concentrate on getting our stuff done that we need to get done. So we got our fields planted. We started taking down some trees around the main farm area, and then we harvested those those fields in the fall, and then we began grinding stumps around the main farm so that we could go ahead and plow those fields out. We did that, and so it's all about kind of trying to stick with a plan as best as possible. Although I will say that sometimes, you sort of get in the heat of things, and something happens and you have to sort of change your plans. But I guess that's life as well, right? I mean, being flexible, being agile enough to be able to sort of roll with the punches, roll with the changes. Is Farmer Klein in the house? Hey, Farmer Klein, Jerry's winning no matter how he sees it. Extremely disciplined. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But, I've also made a few mistakes as well. And I saw your very nice conversation you were having with, I can't think of who that was, on Old Guy Farmer's Discord. Because it sounded like to me he was kind of getting discouraged, and just turn this into a learning experience, if anything at all. I mean, this is about fun as much as it is about trying to drive straight. And that, my friends, is why the word of the day is the word of the day. Jerry is here because his wife wants to watch TV in peace. That's about true. Well, she's having surgery on Monday, so she is she's a bit beside herself, I think, still. And but yeah, she's watching a movie, and she told me, she's like, go downstairs and do what you do. So that's what we're doing. Oops. Yep, got it. And actually, I am going to be working from home a couple of days next. Well, I'm going to be off, I should say. That's the correct terminology. I'm going to be home a couple of days next week. I am going to be working a little bit, though, because I've got a few projects that I need to keep an eye on. But at the same time, I do hope that while she's sort of sleeping and recuperating a little bit from her surgery and stuff like that, that I may live stream once or twice. 3 times, 4 times. It depends on how much she sleeps. You want to be difficult, don't you? Problem is that I've got some logs that are actually covered up in the snow, so we'll have to maybe wait until spring to be able to see that. And one other sort of fact about the challenge itself, and sort of the guidelines of the challenge and all that kind of stuff, is that we basically play from the point in which seasons sort of stops the auto skip night or whatever feature that it's called, and which is roughly sunrise or thereabouts, about the times that the rooster is crowing something like that, and we have to basically play until at least 9 p.m. So 2100 hours. So I have pulled a few all-nighters, but I try not to do that consecutively because, again, I just feel like that's not very realistic to do that much overnight or 24-hour type work. Yeah, Farmer Klein's winter was nothing like this. Let me restack these logs, and then we are going to disconnect our trailer, and then we're going to head back down to the main farm and do some things that need to be done down there. So we'll tie our straps down and disconnect and head back to the main farm. Put some chains on that rig. Yeah, I don't think there are any chains for this, Doug Zorley. I think there's a road somewhere around here. We'll just make our own. No, this is a field, I think. There's the road up there. Can't see the road anymore. This is a really slick road here too, and I still haven't. I've come down this hill multiple times, and each and every time I lose it, and I say I ought to know better because it's slick there every time I come down the hill, and every time I come down the hill I end up slipping and sliding. Just like that. I hope you guys are entertained, because I would feel bad if you weren't being properly entertained with my driving. Let's see if we can get this thing in the yard here. Okay, Eustace Farmer says, ladies and gentlemen, I have to prune my juice and I have to have my prune juice and beauty rest. Nice chatting with everyone, even Doug Zorley, I suppose. Thanks for stopping by, Eustace Farmer. I appreciate that. It means a lot. I appreciate you coming by. All right, so I tell you what, let's see. We need to give a hay bale to the sheep. And then we need to clean up after the sheep, because it won't be long until it'll be time to go to bed and end our episode. And we are gonna do a double header, so it's only 10 minutes after 7, so we will have time to get another video or get another episode done. I think one of the reasons why I was kind of pleased that I was going to be able to possibly do a double header tonight was the fact that I am just really trying to get through winter. I'm kind of over this. Well, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it, Eustace. Go get your beauty rest and all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time. All right, that's done. And we'll just leave this bucket over here because we will need to do this again tomorrow. Farmer Klein, I don't know if you're still here, but we had pretty much the whole game was here. We had Doughboy was here for a few minutes. Doug Zorley obviously is still here, I believe. Eustace Farmer was here. So we kind of had a who's who of farm sim gamers and stuff. It's great to see everybody together. Let's see, how much hay do they need? We'll take 2 bells over. Our chickens are magic chickens, folks, so if it appears that we're running over them, they just kind of bounce right back. They just kind of bounce off the front of the tractor or whatever, and no chickens are ever harmed in a making of one of our videos, one of our episodes. But there again, kind of like loading loading timber by hand, if we were to basically try to be careful around driving around the chickens, we would never get anything done because they're just kind of run around like headless chickens. All right, well, look at that. More snow in the forecast for tomorrow. That'll be fun. And I think one thing that we'll just do before we end this episode, since we do have just a little bit of time, as long as we end our episode before midnight, we don't have to do an all-nighter. So we're going to fire up our Ford here, let her warm up just a little bit, and go get some water. As we hit that rock that old guy Farmer left there for us. I think we do that every time as well, especially when you have slippy conditions like it is. All right, thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm gonna end this stream here before midnight game time, and we'll take just a 5-minute break or so to go get me some fresh iced tea and that kind of stuff, and then be right back for the second episode. And it'll be pretty much like the first, as we're going to do some more logging, but it should be snowing, so that'll add a little bit more excitement to things. Not that we need any more snow, because again, I say look at all these layers. top up our water over here at the greenhouses. That way tomorrow, the next game day, episode number 22 I think it is, we'll just have to come over here and refill the manure. But thankfully I can see spring in the forecast. And let's see, what does spring in the forecast look like? Thursday, cloudy, Friday, partly cloudy. But those are some nice warm temperatures for the highs, so hopefully we'll get out of the frozen ground conditions by, say, the second day of spring. Maybe the snow will be gone by then as well. I don't know. We'll have to see. Because unfortunately, everyone that has already been through the first game year just haven't had as much snow as what we've had, so I don't really have anything to sort of gauge it on. All right, we'll do our eggs one more time because we can only this spawning point only holds like 20 something eggs, and so if we don't take the time to gather them, then we basically will lose a few dollars worth of eggs. And that's about it. So I'm going to just go ahead and click save, and then we will bounce out, and I will do Alt-N, and that will fast forward through the night. Oh, look at that snow. My gosh. Okay, and then we're back in our day at 6 a.m. We will hit save game, and then I am going to quit the game. And I am going to stop the stream because that way it will basically cut this episode off, and this will be episode 21. And then I will be back in about 5 minutes. So if you guys can take 5 minutes, go get yourself a nice cold beverage or warm beverage or Pop-Tart or whatever you need to get yourself through the rest of the next stream, and then come back for episode 22. I would appreciate it. So I'm going to end the stream, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes, 6 minutes, something like that. Thanks for sticking around. Talk to you soon.